If your brain was a physical place like an apartment, what would it be like inside? A hoarder's den, disorganized and filled with completely useless trivia and media knowledge. The kink room would be the largest and most used living space. Extremely messy with a ton of stuff everywhere. It would be the living room. My place of comfort and a TV to watch shit. I have an overactive imagination. I moved out in 2015 and the apartment's still on the market. I'd prefer an apartment like a brain, a lot more functional square footage than would be expected, given the exterior size. A dumpster. It would be like an old pneumatic postal system, especially when trying to sleep. It would appear normal and tidy. Maybe a few things out of place. But, like any good haunted house, the weirdness gets more intense the longer you stay. An elevator, always going up and down. Oh, and the electricity cuts off and so there ya go. A hamster wheel. Empty. Orchestrated chaos. It'd be like John Nash's shed from A Beautiful Mind. Oh yeah, been there. Dark rainforest with evil forest spirits and birds. Wide seashell path leading through it. Vastly unorganized, but everything I need is there, somewhere. Furniture. No, there is boxes. Also the stove is on fire. Different versions of me, sad, happy, etc. In a foam pit. Labyrinth. An imposing fortress that sits over the sea. Very little material possessions inside and minimalist design. A library and places to train come to mind. Probably a lot like how I live. Just a normal house with some clutter. But not an overwhelming amount of clutter. But not enough clutter to do anything about it. Darkness. Oh god, it would be so boring. I'm shit at emotions and usually stand from an unbiased point, so everyone would be looking at me. After visiting like, bish, who knew you were this boring? Dark, cluttered. Any signs of life almost dead. A simple studio apartment. Somewhat tidy but with random trash in weird places. You can try to clean up but there will always be a crumpled fast food bag somewhere. You just don't know where. It would probably have one corner extremely organized. One corner with just books, movies, TV and music. One corner with just my bed. And one corner with chaos, oh, and chocolate. Just chocolate. Graveyard of secrets. Mostly empty except for the hot tub and the sex dungeon. It would have a home theater, constantly playing my most embarrassing or cringy moments on a loop. If my brain was a physical place like an apartment, then it'd be homeless. Wiretapped and monitored. With a bunch of screens, a la CCTV operator's room. I still cringe at that moment 10 years ago. Rat's nest. Blankets and pillows everywhere. Only small tables that you can use while sitting on the floor. Thick carpeting. Lots of accidentally concealed knives around. Have you ever seen an indoor circus? No lights. Only a few candles that I could barely afford. Eventually, I'll be able to afford more candles and see more of it. There's probably a few rooms I don't know about yet because of the darkness. It would look much like the landscape at White Sands National Park. You know that scene in SpongeBob where they are running around his brain that's like on fire and everything is chaotic? Yeah, that would sum it up. A beautiful city. I love cities. Relieved face. Night stars. Empty. A hoarder's place without electricity. Empty and alone, haha. A mess. Empty. A tiny shack with lots of doors. It's empty until someone opens one. Then it all comes spilling out. Just a mess. Ham. Please, not inside my car, for the love of all things holy. I'd like to say it's like the room in Minority Report. https u2.be/33racux9sfbo t = 5, but it's probably more like the average Joe's cupboard in Dodgeball. What do you mean, if? I have a brain and an apartment. I have lived here for 5 years. The merger is complete. The Overlook Hotel but with lousy decor and more ghosts. A dumpster fire. A microwave. Just as shitty as my apartment. A rave with flashing lights, loud music and lots of voices and noise. I keep thinking of the show Legion. I'm scared. Like others have said, a hoarder's den, but like a big circle in the middle that completely clean. Because I have taught myself well, such empty. Slaughterhouse. Neil D. Tyson's imaginary spaceship from Cosmos, A Space-Time Odyssey, without the imaginary part. You know the picture with a bunch of stairs without any logic behind that don't seem to lead anywhere, and still you kind of get what's happening there. You could hear an echo in it. Like the TARDIS. Ever expanding and full of strange, weird, useless, interesting asterisk shit. Delete as appropriate. An old storage shed that needs to be cleaned out and everything thrown away. Kinda like a padded cell, but everything is a bed. Chaotic. Disorganized. Like a hoarder's flat. Full of nonsense stuff you'd wonder where the heck this came from. A spotless one because I don't have anything. Spongy with a lot of neural connections. I would say it's fairly neat. But there are brightly colored clowns floss dancing and giggling in the corners. And you have to work hard to not give them any attention. I dunno, but it definitely wouldn't be a place you would to live in. Messy. Cluttered and with insane philosophy scrawled on the walls in a combination of feces and blood. Not all of it mine. A lot of not assembled IKEA stuff. Mess with sticky walls of any kind of body fluids. Some weird grotesque pictures in a monkey on drugs running around. full of papers with NHL hockey statistics and Metallica lyrics. Embarrassingly small. Lots of aquariums. Organized along the walls, empty in the middle, with furniture that is functional but completely mismatched. It would look like that hole in Alice in Wonderland, that Alice falls down at the beginning. Just a whole bunch of junk floating around with no rhyme or reason. You don't even wanna know tears of joy, tears of joy. There's too many fucking birds. Alternates between an empty box and massive amounts of clutter. Very cluttered. All rooms would be interconnected. The electricity meter would be doing somersaults. That's actually what my mind palace is. It's a shitty, run-down 2-story 4-bed 1.5 bath house rented out by 8. All different but eerily similar people. I'm not sure because it'd be on fire. Thanks anxiety. Someone has spilled cocaine and whiskey everywhere, just like my old apartment. Immaculate. Just look at my bedroom and you will know. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe for more content.